Alert in Chicago. 1. A 6'4" receiver just got cut for something big no one's talking about, and it's got deadly consequences for the roster. 2. Our GM is on the brink of getting fired while rivals sign extensions. Is 2025 his last chance? 3. A 1,500-yard monster is lurking in our offense, and the league is not ready. This is not a drill, Bears fans. Every decision, every target, every second on Poles' clock, everything points to a scorching season. Who falls? Who survives? You know what really frustrates me about this organization? While other teams make smart decisions, we keep playing catch-up. I'll say this, after decades of watching the Bears make questionable moves, we finally have management doing things right. But the pressure is reaching levels we haven't seen since the days of Angelo. Look, Bears fans, I'm going to be straight with you because that's how I roll. Miles Boyin, that 6'4" receiver we brought from Pittsburgh, is already marked to be cut. And you know what? I think it's the right decision, but it also reflects deeper problems in how we evaluate talent. Boyin came to Chicago with intriguing credentials. Former third round in Baltimore in 2019. Time with the Steelers. Impressive size for the red zone. But here's the problem. In a league where production speaks louder than potential, this guy never could establish himself. His best season was in 2020 with Baltimore. 19 catches, 266 yards, 4 touchdowns. Do you think those numbers deserve a roster spot in 2025? But here's what really bugs me. Boyin was a standout at Notre Dame, literally played in our backyard. Bears fans knew him from college. He had the size we traditionally value, and still couldn't make the roster. What does that say about our receiver room? I'll ask you, with DJ Moore, Rome Oduns, Luther Burden, Olamide Zaccheaus, Devin DuVernay, and Tyler Scott in the receiver room, where does Boyin fit? I'll give you the answer. He doesn't. And that's good because it means we finally have real depth. Let's delve deeper. Boyin spent 2 years with Pittsburgh after Baltimore, then bounced around practice squads in 2024. At 28 years old, he's no longer a developmental project. Produce or leave. Ryan Poles is building a competitive roster, not a charity home for ex-Notre Dame players who can't produce at the NFL level. I like about this decision is that it shows this management isn't swayed by sentimentality. Boyin has the local history, the size, but not the production. In the past, the Bears would have kept a player like that just because he looks like a Bear. Those days are over. You know what this means for the rest of the receiver room? Nobody has a guaranteed spot. Tyler Scott better produce. Devin DuVernay needs to show he can be more than a return specialist. Even Rome Oduns, who's practically untouchable, knows he must keep developing. But here's what really has me worried, Bears fans. Omar Khan, the Pittsburgh GM we interviewed in 2022, just got a contract extension. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah from Minnesota also got extended after Memorial Day. And Ryan Poles? He's still waiting. Like a rookie quarterback waiting for his first shot. I'll tell you this. Poles inherited a salary cap disaster left by Ryan Pace. When Poles arrived, we had $13 million in negative cap space. Negative. Do you understand what that means? That we couldn't even sign our draft picks without making drastic moves. Poles had to rebuild this roster from scratch. He cut Kyle Fuller, Allen Robinson, Danny Trevathan players who had been cornerstones of the franchise. Why? Because we had no choice. Pace left us in salary cap, hell dot. Do you think Omar Khan would have done a better job with the mess Poles received? I think not. Khan had the advantage of taking over an already established team with Ben Roethlisberger ending his career. A solid defense with T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Cam Hayward in place. Khan inherited a winning culture. Poles inherited a losing one. But listen closely. Patience has limits. Kevin Warren praised Poles after hiring Ben Johnson, saying he's incredibly smart and hardworking. But nice words don't win games. This season is crucial for Poles because I'll ask you, What happens if we don't make the playoffs again? Here's the problem. Poles has had 3 years to show progress. Yes, year 1 was about cleaning up the salary cap. Year 2 was about building the foundation. But year 3 was about competing, and we ended up 5-12. How much more time do we give him? Look at the decisions Poles has made. Traded for DJ Moore and gave him an extension. Drafted Rome Odunze in the first round. Signed D'Andre Swift. Brought in Keenan Allen. Hired Ben Johnson. These aren't rebuild decisions. They're win-now decisions. If we don't win now, when? What worries me is that David Siegler, another 2022 GM, was already fired after a year with Las Vegas. Joe Schoen with the Giants hasn't received an extension either. Are we seeing a pattern where the 2022 GMs who haven't produced winning? Records are on the hot seat. Kevin Warren says we're headed in a really good direction and that this is going to be a really good year. But how many times have we heard that in Chicago? I think Poles deserves credit for the rebuild, but I also think the clock is ticking. This season isn't just about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. It's about Ryan Poles proving he deserves to be here long term. Now comes the part that excites me, Bears fans. DJ Moore is poised for the best season of his career, and I'm going to explain exactly why this is going to happen and why we might be witnessing something. Historic. First point, quarterback continuity. For the first time in his NFL career, Moore will have the same starter in consecutive years. Caleb Williams was the QB all of 2024 and will be the QB all of 2025. Do you know what that means for a receiver? Chemistry, timing confidence. All those things Moore never had in Carolina, jumping between Cam Newton, Kyle Allen, Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and P.J. Walker. Let me put this in perspective. In his 7-year career, Moore has had 8 different quarterbacks as starters. 8. Do you think Jerry Rice would have had the numbers he did if he changed QBs every year? Impossible. The chemistry between quarterback and receiver develops with time and repetition. Second point, Ben Johnson. This man made Caleb Raymond, Josh Reynolds, and Tim Patrick look like Pro Bowlers in Detroit. His offense led the NFL in yards after catch last year with 2,078 yards. In 2023, they were 6th with 1,800. 47 yards. In 2022, they were 4th with 1,923 yards. And do you know who's already one of the best YAC receivers in the league? DJ Moore. Moore was 6th in YAC in 2024 with 461 yards. 13th in 2023 with Luke Getsy's offense. 12th in 2021 in Carolina. This guy already produces yak in mediocre offenses. What's going to happen when he's in the system that maximizes YSC? I think we're seeing a perfect combination. Third point, Keenan Allen is gone. Allen had 121 targets in 2024, missing 2 games. If he had played the whole season, he'd probably have challenged the 140 targets Moore had. Where do you think Allen's targets will go? I tell you, straight to Moore, because he already has the chemistry with Williams and the trust of Johnson. Moore has had up to 163 targets in a season 2021. With Allen gone and being the clear WR1, do you think 150 targets are possible? I think so. Fourth point, Moore at 28 is in his prime. He's the most experienced veteran in that receiver room. When he came to Chicago, he was the middle-aged guy. Now he's the elder statesman. Do you know what that means? Leadership, mentorship, and more responsibility in the offense. Fifth point, versatility. Moore can play slot, can make carries from the backfield like Deebo Samuel, can play quarterback in Wildcat. The guy can even kick field goals according to Cairo Santos. Do you think Ben Johnson won't use all that versatility? Johnson is famous for his trick plays and creative formations. With Moore's skill set, the possibilities are endless. Jet sweeps, screens, RPOs, Wildcat formations, it's all on the table. And that means more touches, more opportunities, more production. 6 point, Caleb Williams' improvement. Second-year quarterbacks traditionally take a jump. Williams already showed chemistry with Moore in 2024. If Williams improves his accuracy, pocket presence, and decision-making, who will be the primary beneficiary? Is WR1.I ask you, what's the ceiling for DJ Moore in 2025? 100 catches, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns? Are those numbers realistic? I think so. In fact, I think they're conservative. If everything aligns, Williams, improvement, Johnson system, increased targets, we're talking about a potential Pro Bowl season. And to close, we have an interesting training camp battle many are underestimating. Roshan Johnson versus Kyle Monangai for the RB2 spot behind Dandre Swift. This battle tells us a lot about Ben Johnson's philosophy and where this offense is headed. Roshan Johnson is entering his third season, but his carries were reduced 50% from year 1 to year 2. In 2023, Johnson had 47 carries for 213 yards. In 2024, only 23 carries for 91 yards. Why? Because while he has power, he doesn't bring much more than that. Johnson played only 28% of the snaps in 2024, mainly in short yardage and goal line. He was the battering ram, the guy that gets you the tough yard. But in Ben Johnson's offense, is that sufficient? I don't think so. Here's the problem with Johnson. He's one-dimensional. He can run between the tackles, can get you the tough yards, but can he protect the quarterback? Can he run routes? Can he be a receiving threat? The answer is limited. Kyle Monangai, the rookie's 7th rounder from Rutgers, is generating buzz. For all the right reasons. First, he comes from a program that produces physical running backs. Rutgers may not be Alabama, but they develop tough players. Second, and this is crucial, pass protection. Ben Johnson values this more than anything. In Detroit, Johnson used Jamal Williams not just because he could run, but because he could protect. If the quarterback doesn't have time, the offense doesn't work. Monangai has received praise from Eric Bieniemy, who is one of the best RB coaches in the league. Bieniemy developed Jamal Charles, developed multiple backs in Kansas City. If he likes what he sees in Monangai, that means something. Johnson also praised Monangai, calling him a standout in rookie minicamp. He said he appreciates his attention to detail and pride he takes in his work. Those are qualities coaches love in rookies. But here's what really convinces me. Declan Doyle, the offensive coordinator, said there are areas to coach up in Monangai's game, but that his mentality gives him a great shot to succeed. Do you know what that means? That you have room to grow, but you have the right mindset. I'll ask you, do you prefer a back that's only good for running between the tackles, or one that can protect Caleb Williams on 3rd and long? Do you prefer a veteran who's already reached his ceiling, or a rookie with upside? The answer is obvious. Monangai brings more versatility to this offense. He can run, can protect, can catch. Johnson can only run. In Ben Johnson's system, versatility wins. Here's my prediction. Monangai starts training camp behind Johnson on the depth chart, but by the end of camp, he's the clear RB2. Why? Because Johnson's offense rewards players who can do multiple things, not just one thing well. Bears fans, these 4 news stories tell us everything about the direction of this franchise. We're cutting dead weight like Boyin. Our GM is under pressure, but building correctly. DJ Moore is ready to explode, and even in training camp battles, we're prioritizing versatility over one-dimensional players. But do you know what's most important about all this? That we finally have a coherent vision. From Ryan Poles to Ben Johnson, everyone is on the same page. Do you think this is coincidence? I believe we're seeing the start of something special in Chicago. This is a make-or-break season for this administration. Poles needs to prove he deserves an extension. Williams needs to take his 2nd-year leap. Johnson needs to show he can maximize our talent. And we, the fans, need to be ready for something we haven't seen in decades. Let me Know in the comments, does Poles deserve his extension now, or should he wait until we make it to the playoffs? Can DJ Moore have 1,500 receiving yards this season? Will Mo Nangai take the job from Roshan Johnson? If you believe this is going to be the season for Chicago, give this video a like. If you want to be part of this family that lives and breathes Navy and Orange, subscribe, because tomorrow we have more explosive news you can't miss. This is our time, Bears fans. There, Bears, bear down, and see you next time.